Cowabunga. Yes, the Turtles are back on the big screen in this reboot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I gotta say this, even though I thought it was a fun, decent, entertaining flick, I have to admit, this movie is stupid. All the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies are basically stupid, but the first movie and the second one have a place in our hearts. If you love the Turtles, if you love the first two movies of the Turtles, you're gonna like this one for the Turtles. The Turtles themselves were great. If you're wondering if the CG is fully bad, no. Honestly, I appreciate the effort they put into it. The motion capture, the facial animations, and their movements and stuff, the crazy stunts they do. Yes, at times it feels like an animated movie, but because the environment is realistic and you know that it's motion captured, you know, they put a lot of effort into these characters. They really did. These creators, they cared about the Turtles. Their personalities are intact. I guess the only weakest one is Leonardo, but even he was likable. All the Turtles were likable. Splinter was great. And yeah, they did such a good job with the Turtles. So if you're worried that this movie is gonna rape your childhood of the Turtles, no, it's not. It's not that bad. However, everything else, the story, the supporting characters, the villain's plans, stupid. So stupid. But it's not like Transformers stupid where you feel dumber every single second. No. This movie is just a dumb but fun, entertaining flick that even the kids will love. This movie stole the story of The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, including the final fight scene in The Amazing Spider-Man. But I gotta say this movie did it better than The Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, this movie was stupid. It wasn't a really good movie, but I recommend it to all the Turtle fans. Megan Fox, she didn't do a bad job. She tried her best, and I can appreciate that. Sure, at times that it seems like she can't really act, but at the same time, she really put all her effort into trying to make this April O'Neil very interesting and very unique. She tried, at least. It could have been so much worse, and you know what? She was likable in this one. She really was. But it wasn't really her fault, because the scriptwriters did something bad to the April O'Neil character. They did. I mean, well, here's a good thing about April O'Neil in this movie. She's a lot like Lois Lane. She goes out looking for news because she knows that she can find a news story out there. She wants to be the best of the best. She has a mentality. She wants to not just do like yoga or hot girl stuff. No, she wants to be known for being a news reporter. She went to college for this. She works her ass off for this. So I'm okay with that. But at the same time, she makes some dumbass mistakes too. And I'll get to that in the spoiler stuff, but yeah, there were times where she makes very dumb mistakes. Very dumb. But at the same time, she is a very smart character and you want her to succeed at the same time. So it was a very conflicted relationship. But Megan Fox mostly pulled it off. I wish that different actors could have taken over this, but at the same time, Megan Fox is not as bad as I feared. However, the worst character in this movie has to be Will Arnett's character, Vern. I like Will Arnett. Will Arnett is a funny guy. He's charismatic. He was very funny as Batman in the Lego movie. And that came out this year also, in February this year. I don't know what the hell happened to him in here. I heard that he improvised a lot of his lines, but a lot of them suck. He was not funny at all. And at times, he was a bit of a creep because he's trying to hit on April O'Neil. And we all know that Will Arnett's like in his 40s and stuff. And Megan Fox is almost 30, I think. She's still around 20s and stuff. So it's like double the age. It's just creepy. It really was. Will Arnett was really unnecessary in this one. I'm sorry, buddy. I really like your work, except in this one. You just sucked. I'm sorry. This is just not your movie, okay? William Fichtner, he does not play the Shredder. I didn't get that. I mean, at first, I was kind of happy that they have a Japanese guy who looks intimidating, and honestly, he reminds me of Chow Yun-Fett's character from Pirates of the Caribbean, The World's End, because he has the same scar-like makeup and stuff, and he's talking in very deep, raspy Japanese. And, you know, he wears a Shredder suit and he looks awesome. He looks badass in it. But William Fichtner, I'm surprised about his role. He should have been the Shredder. William Fichtner doesn't do anything in this movie. And he had such an intimidating presence, but he doesn't do anything. He just talks and that's it. So I feel like this role is wasted on him. Or probably it's going to lead to something greater, because I heard that he signed on for 3 TMNT movies. 3. And in this movie, he is basically Norman Osborn. That was kind of confusing. But William Fichtner did a good job for the role he's in. So, all the Turtles were great. Michelangelo stole the show. He was really good. Donatello was adorable as the nerd, and he's not like a stereotypical nerd. I like that. It was refreshing, and I mean, not just because he wears the glasses and stuff, but he knows all about technology and stuff, but he also sounds freaking cool. And he does some badass shit with his bow staff, and he's just great. I love him. He is awesome. Raphael was also great, and he has a very touching monologue at the end of this movie, and I'm going to get to that in the spoilers. The weakest one has to be Leonardo, but it's not Johnny Knoxville's fault. Johnny Knoxville doing the voice acting was decent. At first, I can tell it's Johnny Knoxville, but later on, I can't tell it was him. No, I actually pictured Leonardo, and that was good. But compared to the other Turtles, Leonardo doesn't really have that many lines, and because he's the leader, he's the most calm, but at the same time, he doesn't really do that much except kick ass with his swords. That's it. Even though you keep seeing Leonardo in the background kicking ass, he doesn't really say that much. You don't really know much about him, too. So that was a shame, because Leonardo is my most favorite Ninja Turtle. So, from now, I'm going to go into spoilers. So, like I said before, if you love the Turtles, you're going to love this movie for the Turtles. Everything else, though, is stupid. I do recommend this movie, though, because I thought it was fun, entertaining. Bring your kids. Your kids are going to love it. But here's the thing about bringing your kids. Make sure your kids know respect. Okay? If you go into a theater, it's not their home. It's not your home. You're with other people who want to see the movie and be enjoyed by it, okay? Whether it's a bad movie or a good movie, no matter what, don't bring background noise, okay? If you laugh during the funny scenes, that's okay. If you make a very quick comment, that's okay. Don't freaking talk throughout the entire movie. The theater I went to was mostly good, but there were a couple of kids who don't know how to shut the hell up. And I kept wishing that the parents would tell them to shh, just quiet down, okay? Relax, it's not your home. You know, punish them or something like that, saying, if you keep doing this, we're going home. We're not going to finish the movie. And then the kids will shut the hell up and then just watch the movie like the rest of us. They would still have a fun time. So, and don't bring babies into this movie. I don't understand families who bring babies into these movies. Loud noises are going to terrify them. What were you thinking? I don't get that. Don't bring babies. No one wants to hear a crying baby for 30 minutes of the movie. No one. No one. You think that's awesome? You think that's nice? No, even the baby is scared. Take care of the baby. Think about the baby. I understand if you really want to see this movie, and if you can't hire a babysitter or not, then tough. Don't go see this movie with your child. I'm sorry. You have to wait until they're grown up. You know, like, hopefully at the age of 6 or 7, then they know about respect and then following the rules and stuff, you know? Then that will be good. But no, don't bring your babies into this. Okay? They'll cry. No matter what. I'm sorry. I just don't like that. Don't bring babies into the movie theater. I don't even care if it's for a kids movie like Real 2 or How to Train Your Dragon and stuff. No, they'll cry. They will. They will. Okay? They will. Just, that's all I can say about kids. Now, spoilers. The origin story of this movie was stupid. Oh man, I don't understand Hollywood movies these days. Why do you take a character like Spider-Man and change up the origin story where it's not an accident? They were destined to be the heroes. I don't get that. And this one stole the story of Amazing Spider-Man. It turns out that the Turtles and Splinter were lab experiments. Lab experiments. At that point, I was like, okay, the lab experiments, no problem. But here's the problem. April O'Neil, her father, was the scientist who worked on the Turtles and Splinter. April O'Neil, as a kid, gave them names. She gave the name Splinter to the rat. She named the Turtles after the Renaissance painters. And, of course, the project that they're working on is called Project Renaissance. Yeah, Leonardo's Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo's. Wow. And she feeds them pizza. Okay. Yeah. And what I found funny about this, when they showed the old footage about the turtles, they were color marked. So you can tell which one's which. They actually have Leonardo marked blue, Donatello marked purple, Michelangelo marked orange, and Raphael marked red. They actually did that. So we could tell which one is which. So the father works with William Fichtner, who plays Eric Sachs. And he's basically Norman Osborn. William Fichtner kills the father, and the father was setting fire to the lab so everything could get destroyed. But April O'Neil saved the Turtles and Splinter and then set them free into the sewers. Destiny! So Splinter and the Turtles grew up to be the mutants. You know, the Turtles grew up to be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Splinter becomes a badass master. And at that point, I was like, okay, at least they passed that. No. In the original movie, what I love about the original movie is the origin. Splinter was a rat who's kept as a pet, and he mimicked the movements of his master Yoshi. And his master was killed by the Shredder. So Splinter wanted revenge, so he clawed at Shredder, and Shredder cut off his ear. And Splinter is still alive. He wants to avenge the death of his master, and he somehow gets to New York. I don't know how. I believe it's by ship or something like that. So he goes into the sewers of New York, and then he encounters the 4 baby turtles who somebody lost, and they were in the sewers, and they're covered in the ooze, TGRI ooze. And Splinter tries to clean them up, but he also gets affected by the ooze, and then they become bigger and bigger and bigger, and they learn how to speak English. I was okay with that origin story. Here, Splinter and the Turtles never knew ninjutsu before this. Splinter didn't know ninjutsu until one day he was cleaning up the sewer, he was sweeping it up, and then he sees a book called The Art of Ninjutsu. And then he decides to learn ninjutsu himself and then teach the Turtles. He is a savant, actually, because he perfected ninjutsu from reading a book. One book. Okay. It was stupid. This origin story didn't have to be in this movie. The origin was perfect in the original movie. I haven't read the original comics, the black and white comics, in so long, but I highly doubt that April O'Neil is the one who kept the turtles as pets and then named them and stuff, and they had the antidote or the mutagen, so they become mutants. Yeah, they were squirted the TCRI ooze into them, so I don't know. I really didn't like this part about the Turtles and Splinter. It's unnecessary. How do you screw this up? But as soon as the origin story is finished, everything else, though, is much better. After that, I didn't care about April O'Neil being the owner of the Turtles and her pets or something like that. I got over that. The Turtles were freaking good. Their interactions with each other, their brotherhood, really, really good. I mean, after the Turtles went above the sewer, and then they saved the people from being taken hostage by the foot in the subway tunnel, and they encountered April O'Neil, and then they wiped off her phone and stuff, you know, deleted all the footage. And then they tried to go back into the sewer stealthily, because Splinter told them never to go above the sewers until they're ready. So they did it without his permission. So they're trying to sneak back in, and they're telling each other to shh, 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 shh. Yeah, it's funny. And they're very scared about being found out by Master Splinter because they didn't want to get punished. So they were acting like actual teenagers. You know, they're past their curfew, and then they want to sneak back into the house without their parents knowing, and so they didn't get in trouble. But Splinter was waiting for them the entire time and smacks the shit out of them with his tail. Oh man, Splinter is badass. He was. I really liked him. Tony Shalhoub did the voice, and Danny Woodburn did the motion capture, and the animation of his tail is outstanding. I love how he uses his tail for almost everything. It's a very strong tail, too. He whips the shit out of the turtles and stuff, and I love Mikey. Mikey was great. He's like, oh no, I'm sleepwalking, man. I'm sleepwalking, okay? I don't mean disrespect to Splinter. I'm being loyal. Yeah, I love how Mikey tries to get away with everything. He was great. Michelangelo was great. With the turtles, especially in the beginning, you don't see the turtles. You see only the backsides of them, and they're looking over the footage of the Foot taking everyone hostage. So they're trying to make a plan. And then Michelangelo goes, "Oh my god! That cat is playing chopsticks with chopsticks!" And everyone's like, "Mikey, come on, man, you idiot!" Oh man! And he brings up the cat with chopsticks again when Megan Fox fainted and the turtles were talking to her, and Michelangelo goes, "Hey, have you seen the video where the cat plays chopstick with chopsticks?" And everyone just pushes him away and stuff. That was hilarious. Michelangelo was great. Almost all his lines of dialogue is great. He keeps making me laugh. This movie was really funny. It really was funny. I just saw Guardians of the Galaxy last week, so seeing the turtles here, yeah, it's a very funny movie. And the dialogue, they act like normal teenagers, and they're not being stereotypical teenagers or anything. No, they're just being normal teenagers who happens to be mutant ninja turtles. And I love it every time Michelangelo tries to hit on April O'Neil. It's just hilarious. Oh my god, I can feel my shell tightening. Girl, she is hot. Oh my god, I can't wait to marry her. And near the end, he's like, "Don't forget about me, because I'll always be right here." And everyone grabs Michelangelo. "Come on, you idiots! Shut up, you numbnuts!" It's an E.T. reference. I love that. "I'll always be right here." And yeah, they brought up a lot of references to classic movies and music and stuff, and I love that. They're actual teenagers, and they're great. And I love Donatello. He's a nerd, and he has this Iron Man like hologram thing, and he has a pack that looks like a Ghostbusters pack. He is very smart, and he is badass with his bow staff too. Raphael is a brute, and he's like a football jock, and he beats the living shit out of people by punching them and kicking them and uses his sai. He is awesome. And like I said, Leonardo was a bit bland, but you know what? Their interactions with all four turtles are great, and every time they talk with Splinter, it's also very good. I love the part where Splinter was punishing them for getting out, and they're doing all these weird-looking punishments, like Leonardo is bouncing eggs on chopsticks, and Raphael is sewing, and Donatello's bouncing on a board and stuff, and Michelangelo was bouncing on this chair, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not breaking a sweat. You know what? Nothing can break me down." And then Splinter brings the ultimate cheese pizza from Pizza Hut, the 99 cheese pizza. It's a myth. And Michelangelo's like, "I can't believe that existed. That can't be possible. You can't have 99 cheeses." And Splinter's like, "Do you want me to list all the cheeses? Mozzarella, Parmesan, provolone." And Michelangelo breaks down and he tells Splinter the truth. I love that. April O'Neil is a smart person. She is like Lois Lane. She would do anything for a story, but at the same time, you know, she gets herself into very dangerous situations. I mean, she sees that the Foot Clan are carrying guns, and she's trying to be stealthy, but she still gets caught. But good news is she doesn't get caught often in this movie. Actually, she's barely a damsel in distress. She's helping the turtles. She really is, and I really like that about her in this movie. But at the same time, she makes some dumbass mistakes at her Channel 6 news team because she knows that there's a vigilante in the city, but she doesn't have proof. So she's just saying out loud, "Oh, there's a vigilante in the city," and everyone's asking for proof, and she doesn't really have any. So everyone thought that she's just wasting their time. And then later on, she's finally talking with Whoopi Goldberg, and she's only in it for a cameo. She's barely in the movie. I guess her screen time is like a minute max. You know, Whoopi Goldberg is the most logical person in this movie. She thought that Megan Fox is freaking crazy. Because Megan Fox finally realizes that the turtles used to be her pets, and she realizes that this was a project made by her scientist father who died in the lab accident and stuff, and works with Eric Sachs, who everyone knows is basically Norman Osborn. And she's telling this to Whoopi Goldberg, and Whoopi Goldberg couldn't believe her eyes and ears, and she just fires Megan Fox. And I was like, good! Good! What was April O'Neil thinking? What was she thinking? What did she think that was going to happen? Because she was being like Sam Witwicky from Transformers 2 when he went nuts and was doing all these diagrams and stuff. She did the exact same thing. She's like, "Okay, everything is linked, okay? These were the turtles." And Whoopi Goldberg's like, "Wait, what? What are you talking about? They look like turtles?" "No, they are turtles, just 6 feet tall, and they're ninjas." What? You can't... You can't just say that out loud. That's why I kind of like April O'Neil from the original movie, because she knows who the Turtles are, but she knows that if she says this out loud in public in front of the news, people think she would be freaking nuts and she will lose her job unless she has visible proof. But April O'Neil doesn't have proof. She doesn't. I don't get it. So, April O'Neil tells this to William Sachs, who everyone knows is the bad guy except for April O'Neil, and Eric Sachs gave her a card, which is basically a tracking chip. So, April O'Neil basically brought the Foot Clan down to the Turtles. That's another dumbass move. But later on, she redeems herself. She was actually helping out the Turtles and stuff. She's like Emma Stone from The Amazing Spider-Man. She plays the Gwen Stacy role. She was holding on to the antidote and stuff and trying to distract everyone else. That was good. I was okay with that. But, like I said, she made a couple dumbass mistakes. There was an amazing action sequence in the mountain. After the Turtles were fighting off the Foot, and they hijack a truck, and Vern is driving, and Megan Fox is in the passenger seat, and the Turtles are in the back of the truck, and they're getting chased down by the Foot Clan, and then there's an avalanche, and they're fighting off the vans, and Leonardo fell off the truck, and then he's sliding down the hill, and they're using their shells as sleds. And this action scene was a lot of fun because it's an environment that we never saw the Turtles in before, especially in live action. That's why I was very disappointed with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, because they're in feudal Japan, but they don't really do much about the environment. And here, they use the snow and everything to their advantage. They slide down like sleds, and they use the snow as distraction and stuff. It's just great. They really pulled it off. This action scene has to be seen in theaters because it is glorious. It was amazing. It reminds me of the avalanche scene from G.I. Joe 2. It's just that goddamn good. And wow, Leonardo sliding around using his swords to slice off the wheels and stuff. Raphael bounces off, and he's basically the blue turtle shell from Mario Kart. Yes, he bounces off, hitting the people inside the vans and throwing people off and stuff. Michelangelo uses a skateboard, and it has a rocket pack, and he goes through the air doing these sick maneuvers and stuff. Donatello is flipping a car in slow motion with his bow staff, and he's snorting in slow motion. It was just great. And the truck keeps sliding down and stuff, and they keep hitting snow hill after snow hill after snow hill, and oh my god, this action scene is so good. It really is. You just gotta see this. They put a lot of effort into this action scene. This action scene is the best thing about the movie. The second best thing to me has to be the elevator scene. I love this scene because for the first time in this movie, they actually took a break. It felt like they're actually taking a break. So it feels like a very awkward elevator scene at first because there's not even elevator music and they're just waiting to face off against the Shredder. And then Mikey's like, MC Mikey, 1, 2, 3. And he keeps hitting with the nunchucks like, and Raphael starts beatboxing and he's like, boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, boom, boom. And Donatello's hitting stuff with a stick. And then Leonardo, at first I thought he wasn't going to do anything. He was the most calm, most reserved. He looks at the other turtles like they're crazy. Then he starts hitting stuff with his swords like, kang, 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 kang. And everyone's getting into it like, boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, ka, 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 ka. It was just great. I love it. But this scene, I felt like it was cut off because in the trailers, we seen that Leonardo was twerking and everyone else is doing outrageous dance moves, but they didn't show that in the movie. I don't know why they cut off that scene. I thought that was perfect and also shows more personality with Leonardo because he's the most calm, most reserved. Then he goes out of whack and stuff and starts twerking. I thought that would have been great for the movie, but no, they cut that off. I don't know why. It's like another 20 seconds of footage. You didn't have to cut that off. I know the animators worked their asses off on that, so you should have included it. The movie's 100 minutes. It's not that long. You should have just added it in. Also, this movie felt very rushed, and here's the weird thing. You don't see the Turtles until 10 to 15 minutes in, but the problem is, because the pacing of this movie, they show so much in the beginning that you don't really give a damn. It felt boring. Yes, it's only 10 minutes and 15 minutes, but you see so much with April O'Neil and you see so much with Vern. You don't see anything with the Turtles until like 10 to 15 minutes in. So it just felt boring in the beginning. You just want to see the Turtles. That's why I thought the original movie did it so much better. You see the turtles instantly. After April O'Neil gets taken hostage and the Foot Clan are doing, the thugs were about to hit her and stuff, and then it went into darkness and the guys were getting beat up, and then you see the turtles in the sewer and you hear the theme music going dun, 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 dun. I wish that happened in this movie, but no, they want to focus so much on April O'Neil, and oh my god, every time she was talking to her roommate, it was just great. Her dialogue with her roommate is very boring, but her roommate has great comedic timing. She just couldn't believe the shit that April O'Neil is saying, and I love it that when she realized that April O'Neil is basically nuts, she's like, Mom, I want to go home now. I love the roommate. I want to see more of her. The fight against the Shredder is really good. Sure, there's a little bit of the shaky cam, but not as much. You can tell what's going on. And Shredder, he is basically the Silver Samurai, except much more tolerable and likable. Shredder is basically Super Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, except he doesn't kill himself in the end. No, he brings on the pain. He fights off Splinter, and their fight is exactly like Yoda versus Count Dooku in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Splinter is Yoda. He's jumping and flipping in the air and stuff and fighting against the Shredder. Hell, sometimes he uses only his tail to fight off the Shredder, and then he uses one of the swords and he was battling the Shredder. This fight was entertaining. It was so good, and yes, at times it feels like a cartoon, but at the same time, the motion capture artists, they did their job. It looks good. It really does. And Splinter, the way he uses his tail, he was fighting off against the Foot Clan, and he was basically Donnie Yen from, I forgot what was that movie, I believe it's IP Man. Basically, he punches the foot very quickly, and at the same time, he uses his tail to slam a guy's head into the ground repeatedly, like, boosh, 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 and I'm like, Splinter, that guy's already dead. You don't have to keep going. But Splinter was badass. Oh my god, I love his fighting. He was so good. Compared to the Turtles, the Splinter was the most badass. Oh man. He could have taken on the entire Foot Clan on his own, but no. He got his ass handed to him by the Shredder in the end. And the Turtles were fighting Shredder on top of this tower, where they're gonna shoot out a canister filled with a virus, and it's gonna spread across New York City. Yeah, you heard this one before, right? It's the final fight of the Amazing Spider-Man. This one done it better, because I actually cared about the Turtles, and they fought off against Shredder, and the fights look awesome. They used teamwork to fight the Shredder, not just one-on-one. It's just great. It was nice to see all this, and Cowabunga actually sounded very intimidating. And yeah, the fight is so good. I really love this. And when Shredder realized that he's losing because Donatello stopped the canister thing from going out into space, Shredder knows that if that canister gets broken, then the virus will still be loose across the city. So he destroys the tower, and you know what the Turtles do? They don't let the tower fall. No, they held on to the tower with all their strength. People of the city won't die, and they won't get affected by the virus, and also hopefully that the tower doesn't fall onto the people down below. These Turtles cared so much. Shredder loses in the end. He falls off the tower, and then, oh man, I love this scene because the Turtles think that they're gonna die, so they're gonna say their final words, and Donatello's like, oh my god, I'm sorry guys, I licked the top of the frosting on each Pop-Tart and put it back in the box. And Mikey's like, I still don't understand the ending of Lost. Raphael, oh my god, his monologue is so good. He goes, I am sorry, my brothers. I'm sorry for being tough on you. The only reason I'm being tough on you is because I want you to be the best of the best. I want you to push your limits. I want you to succeed. I want you to survive. I want you to be the best. And also, every time I say that I'm leaving, that I'm going on my own, it's because I'm scared, okay? I'm scared that you'll reject me. I'm scared that I won't be accepted. And I love you guys. I really do. But when he finished, it turns out that the Turtles were safe on the ground. The tower was falling! And then Donatello's like, Raph, we were on the ground for like 10 seconds already. And Raphael's like, huh? Oh. And everyone's like, are you okay, Raph? It's just Dusty over here. And he's getting teary-eyed too. It's just great. Raphael was really good in this. I really love his character. But Michelangelo, like I said, stole the show. He keeps on hitting on Megan Fox. And yeah, in the end, I forgot the song that he sang. Is it Build Me Up Buttercup? I'm sorry if I got the song wrong, but he was singing it too, and it was fantastic. And they showed off the turtle van. Unfortunately, the turtle van was only used in the final scene, and they blew up Vern's car. And Michelangelo's like, my bad. We're still figuring out the buttons. Hey, Angel Cakes! I gotta say, though, that even though this is a Michael Bay production, they don't really need to show that much advertisements in it. Pizza Hut, I understand. Of course, it's a Ninja Turtles movie. You need your pizza, and Pizza Hut's... You know, they show Pizza Hut boxes everywhere. They show the Pizza Hut mythical 99 cheese pizza, which I have to order then, if it actually exists. Jesus Christ, now I want pizza because of this movie. God damn it. And, yeah, they showed the Gwen Stefani music video, and they don't really show that much advertisements, actually. One that they shouldn't have shown, the Victoria's Secret one, because this one feels out of place, too, because it happened in the middle of the ending credits, and it shows Michelangelo and Raphael in the streets, and everyone's about to look at them, and they hide as breasts on this Victoria's Secret model on a billboard. And Michelangelo's like, hee hee hee, boobs. And then they go off doing their ninja skills, and then it goes back to the ending credits, and that's it. There's no scene after that. There's no extra scene after that. There's no scene after the credits. So I was like, that was out of place. That should have been in the middle of the movie then as a throwaway gag. But no, it's a throwaway gag at the end of the movie. It didn't make sense. It didn't need to be there. It was kind of amusing, but it was unnecessary. Overall, I did enjoy this movie because of the Turtles. The Turtles were fun. They were great. Their personalities were intact. Leonardo is probably the weakest, but not bad. He's still good. He was likable. But everyone was good. The Turtles were good. Splinter was good. Shredder was badass, even though it didn't make sense on why William Fichtner wasn't the Shredder, because he didn't do much in the movie. No. He was just a lackey, and he doesn't have any ninjutsu skills or anything. No. He fights off Vern and Megan Fox with a gun, and that was it. It should have made sense if he was Shredder. I would have been okay with that because William Fichtner is a great actor. But they did have a Japanese guy playing Shredder, so at least that's good. Also, another thing about that. Shredder spoke in Japanese throughout the entire movie, but everyone else speaks to him in English. And he understands English too, but he's still speaking in Japanese. It was weird. William Fichtner was speaking to him in English, but Shredder repeats back in Japanese. What? And Karai can only speak in English. And yeah, Karai is in this movie too. She barely does anything. She doesn't do any kick-ass stuff. She doesn't do any stunts. Nothing. She basically yells at her team. That was it. So if you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy yet, go watch that one. I'm serious. Go watch it if you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy. But if you already seen Guardians and you're curious about this one, then go see this one. Only watch it if you're a Turtles fan. If you're not, if you don't even like the Turtles, if you don't even have kids, don't go see it. Don't. You're just going to hate it. You're just going to blame Michael Bay for giving you another bad movie and stuff. You know what? Just don't go watch it if you're not a Turtles fan, okay? Like I said, this is a decent, fun movie. Try to get it for a matinee showing or something like that. I mean, I recommend it. I'm going to get this on Blu-ray. It's just, I really loved it. It's enjoyable. On a ranking, though, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original movie, is the best one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Urus, that's the second favorite. And then comes this one. This one could have been as good as the second one. Actually, they used their weapons in this one a lot, so it should have been better than the second one. But the stupid story and the stupid moments really killed the movie. All I can say this, though, is way better than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. And also, it's a CG Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Honestly, I didn't think it was very bad. I thought it could have been great, and I did like the Turtles in it, but the monster story, God, that was so bad. It really was. I did not care about the monster story at all. The 13 monsters and the sculpture-like dudes and stuff, they were not good. It's not good. So if you watched this movie, let me know how you feel about it. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you a fan of the Ninja Turtles? Which movie is your most favorite? And if you've seen this movie, which line of dialogue do you love the best? Let me know. Well, guys, if you like this video, please click the like button. If you'd like to subscribe, there's a button here for subscribing. So until next time, guys, see you later.